So hello everyone. When I introduced our kitchen renovation project, I mentioned how we were looking forward to changing our base cabinets to have drawers instead of these doors. And I'm getting to the point in the project when I'm ready to rip out this side of the kitchen. But before I do that, I thought I'd show you a little tour of a little modification that I made about 15 years ago that we've really enjoyed. So yeah, all these other cabinets are door on the bottom, and the sink was no different way back when we moved in, 20 odd years ago. But I saw this article in Fine Homebuilding magazine, and I have no idea how much of this is mine and how much is them. It's been so long. But after seeing that article, I got the idea and I worked at it, and I converted the two sink to pull-out tray units. So I mentioned pull-out tray. Now, this is nothing new. It's very common to have pull-out trays in lower units. And they never really made sense to me because you have to open the door and pull out the tray. It's a two-step process, whereas this is just a one-step process. So you get the idea. You're making a pull-out tray and you're attaching the door to it, which turns the whole thing into a kind of a big drawer. So it works out kind of like this. On the one side of the cabinet, we mount a full extension drawer slide here to the wall of the cabinet. The other side of the cabinet, well, it's open to the other side, which is a mess. I'm not going into there. But anyways, here in the middle, I've added a couple of pieces of plywood to build it up, and that gives us a place to mount the other full extension drawer slide that we need. I then made a simple plywood tray, and the matching part of the drawer slide is attached to that. The door is dismounted. You can see where I took the hinges off, and that's attached here to the front of the tray. That's why the tray angles up so that there's some substance here to attach to the door. And at the same time, I moved the handles from down here on the front to up along the top. So if this was a thick raised panel door, I would have screwed into it from behind to attach the door to the front of the tray. But we've got these thin plywood panels, so I had to use some screws right from the front. I obsessed about it at the time, but it's been 15 years and we basically never see it because, it's way down here by your feet, not up here by your head. So speaking of the feet, one little trick that I did is I made sure the door sticks down a little bit so you can just grab it with your feet to open it. That is so handy. So yeah, that's my little kitchen hack. We use this for appliance storage for like the last 15 years. You put the mixer and the popcorn maker. It's a really efficient use of space since it brings what's way in the back right out here to the front where you can get at it. But yeah, it's getting ripped out soon as part of our kitchen renovation. And that is about it for this one. As always, I'd like to thank you for stopping by and spending some time. Maybe you're not renovating a whole kitchen. You might have an old kitchen where you can do something like that to it. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you on the next one. And here's a little something extra for all you people who stuck it out to the very end. How about a little kitchen progress report? So with my last update, I was pretty much at the halfway point. I'd gotten one side of the kitchen done, and I took a break. I just took some time off, and I squeezed in that skinny sofa table project. That was fun. That was a quick week's project. That's done, and then it was time to get back to working on the kitchen. And so I started with processing my lumber, and I don't know if you can see way back there. This is where I had all my cherry that I had brought inside. That's pretty much all gone. And out in the garage, my shelves are empty, so I was getting a little concerned, but I managed to have enough cherry for the 8 doors that I need, and I still have some because after I'm done with the other side of the kitchen, I still have the above the fridge project that I'm going to work on. Hoping there's enough cherry here. I seem to have plenty of plywood. So I didn't take any video of the doors because it's the same old thing. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'll be fun in editing. 6, 7, 8 doors here. Fills my shop. I don't have the time. I don't have the time. I do have the time. I don't have the space for spraying. So, I'm in a basement. I can't really spray. And so anyways, I kind of like brushing. So yeah, I've had 3 coats of polyurethane on these. I think that's enough. It's hardening up now. Then it will be time to pull out the hinge jigs and get all the hinges matched so they can snap into place on the Ikea cabinets. And Yes, the drawers. The drawer fronts, as you may recall in one of my previous videos, all the drawer fronts were made all at once right at the beginning, and I did that because those are some really big drawer fronts, and I really wanted to make sure I got the best cherry for that. All these doors, it's all just 2.5-inch rails, so I can make that up out of skinnier bits of cherry, but I needed the wide boards. There's some 15-inch tall drawer fronts. Those have been sitting for like the last 2 months because they were done all at once right at the beginning. And speaking of finish, anybody who's curious about starting something like this, I've got about, what have I got left? I have a little bit over 1 inch left in this can of polyurethane. I bought this back in October, and I've used it on that sofa table, and I've used it on that window bench that I made for my friend, but for everything else, it's been on the doors, the drawers, the side panels, the pantry, and I think I've got enough for the rest of the kitchen. But yeah, if anybody's curious, if anybody ever wants to do the same thing I'm doing, 1 can of polyurethane. Around here it's like 70 bucks for a full gallon like that. I'm Canadian dollars. I'm curious what it would cost by you guys. What else do I have to get updates on? Talked about the doors, the finish, the drawers, the jigs. It's probably a couple more weeks. I booked 3 days off work in 2 weeks where I hope to rip off the other cabinets and do the patching and the painting and the installing. So getting into the home stretch, Lord willing. See you later.